Hey guys, Loman02. I'm actually going to be doing something a little bit different today. It's not going to be a cube draft. It's not going to be 100 cards. What we're going to be playing is Tribal, Legacy Tribal Wars. So this is an underdog format today. So Kumagaro and some great folks out of, MTGO Trader sponsors the event. A lot of great folks still are playing this format, which at one point in time had been filtered on MTGO. I think still has a pretty loyal following. I really like the underdog formats because they are essentially creature types that have never won a tournament. And to kind of rewind and go back to what is Tribal. Tribal is a format where you play 20 of a specific creature type. In this case, I am playing Rebels. So I have 20 Rebels in my deck. And you play from there, and you have no sideboard. So, combo style decks or creature combo style decks like Reanimator or Rexer. I don't know if Rec and Sur are legal. Sur is definitely not, because standard legacy illegal cards are still illegal in Tribal Wars. But those kind of strategies can be good. That's why you see some hot tech like a Relic of Progenitus in my main deck to kind of help out against that. Plus the Caracases, plus the 1 mana removal, which I have 6 or 7 of in this deck. So what is the strategy of this deck, and why do I think it's a pretty cool deck? So this is a Rebel deck. Rebels obviously can be played at instant speed, out of your deck, tutored up. Lin CV is the engine of the deck, as well as a supporting cast of Defiant Falcons, Amaru, Scouts, and Ramosan Sergeants. And then the rest of the cards are just, some Rebels. So you have, Aven Riftwatcher. This deck is not that good at being an aggro deck because the creatures are just kind of scummy. They're not really good at creature battle. They're just good at finding other creatures. So basically you win through mass as opposed to quality of cards. Then you have Mirror Entity to kind of just finish them off. Once you get to a large enough mana amount, you can just, get a Mirror Entity on a tap out turn by them on their end step. Next turn, tap 5-6 mana, attack in with, double the dudes they have, and then just kill them. But all your cards basically find more cards for you, so it's a lot of value. And then the actual engine of the deck is actually not in the creatures itself. The creatures themselves, basically just allow you to find more of them, which gives you a lot of value. But the real way this deck wins is through land tax and Armageddon, and, to another good extent, Mox Diamond. Mox Diamond is just very powerful when you start playing Armageddon, so there's a 4 of Mox Diamond deck, 4 of land tax deck, and 3 of Armageddon deck. And then we have Path to Exile, which combos very well with Armageddon because it gets more land out of their deck and blows it up. It also gets basics out, so that means more lands they're going to draw are going to be wastelandable, and then you have Source of Plowshares as well, just for removal, because it's just great. One Relic of Progenitus main, which may look a little suspicious, and it is. It's not a great card main. It doesn't really support this deck in any way, other than by cycling itself, which is kind of one of the the upsides to it is you can cycle it at some point, and just if it's in a matchup where it doesn't matter. But there are a lot of very good Reanimator decks, and sometimes they can just turn 2 reanimate you, Entomb, reanimate on turn 2, which is a thing that's just impossible to kill. An Iona could be very problematic for this deck. I mean, you're at that point hoping to draw out to Caracas. And if you do, you probably win the game because, investing 2 to 3 cards and knowing that you're going to have an Iona in your hand is pretty bad. So that's why we run 2 Caracas. I could possibly even go to 3 in this deck, but we really want to get land tax value. Some of the things that can happen with this deck that are unfortunate when and if they do is, if you draw too many taxes, it can be actually kind of problematic. Because eventually you'll fleece all the lands out of your deck and you'll just have gas, and you really don't want to draw your gas with this deck. You want to kind of leave it in deck so you can use Lin Civi and the tutors off of Defiant Falcon or Amaru Scout to find more of them. That said, this deck does have okay-ish game against decks like Red Deck Wins, even though it's not as good an aggro deck, because you have cards like Aven Rift Sweeper, which just gain you a boatload of life. Aven Rift Sweeper is a 2/3 flyer that can pretty much block anything, and gains you 2 when it comes in, gains you 2 when it leaves. It's when it leaves the battlefield, not when it dies. So even if it gets Pathed or Plowed, you can gain life off of it. Which allows you to have a little bit of range against Red Deck Wins because they'll generally tend to go down on cards faster. And all of my cards tend to find more cards. So unless they're burning my creatures off, I tend to be able to find dudes to block their dudes. Against mid-range, you have Whip Quarter, which is actually pretty good in the mid-range mirrors. Whip Quarter just does a pretty good job. Against the big mana decks, you're basically banking on Armageddon, Wasteland, and the tax engine to kind of, 1, deny their mana development, and 2, allow you to gain just gross card advantage. So that's a pretty decent game against everything. The hardest thing I think it does have to beat is the speed aggro decks that are not just pure Red Deck Wins. Pure Red Deck Wins on its best draw is probably going to beat this deck. But if it has to stumble and try to find some stuff or it has to wait for some draw steps, generally you're going to be able to kind of just outrange them with your Aven Rift Sweepers because it's a lot of life and it's a good blocker. And once you can find one, generally you can find another on the next turn, and it just kind of snowballs against them. So this deck has a pretty good game against a lot of things. It is an underdog deck, so it has never won a primary event, but there's a lot of good tribes out there. Humans are very good. Constructs are good. Cats are even good. Scarecrows, I think, have won. Eldrazi have won at this point, obviously, but that was essentially a Pro Tour deck in the modern format, and it's still a viable deck in Legacy. But there's quite a few strong tribes out there. I think Humans even goes 3-color, can play Delver of Secrets and Young Pyromancer and Snapcaster, so like there's a decent like aggro control deck in Jeskai in the format. But those are all decks that are going to be in the standard events, the standard Legacy legal Tribal Wars events, as opposed to like the Underdog, where you have to play a tribe that has not done so well up to this point. And it's kind of shocking to me, Rebels, like at least historically, has never like been a top tribe. I feel like if this format had been played a while back, like back when Rebels was a thing, would have done pretty well. But as you look at these cards, they haven't scaled well with time. They're still great value, but like 3 mana for a 1/3, if you just look at Lynn Sibby's body, is not that great. Now, when you start taking into effect her ability to kind of warp games against control or mid-range, yeah, she's a bomb. But she's killable by Bolt, right? So, like, Bolt is a card in the format, and, you know, she can die very easily. That's why we have 2 in the deck, because we can get the other one and then put the other Lynn Sibby with 3 mana back into our deck, you know, and then it becomes very difficult to kill Lynn Sibby outright. So anyways, guys, quick pause. We're going to be back when we start playing the games here, and I hope you guys enjoy this this new format that I'm going to be covering here, which is a Tribal Wars Legacy Underdog event. All right, guys, the event is underway. We have not had our paired opponent join the table yet. Oh, goodness, I forgot about that. I can't watch games. So there's no scouting. I was going to scout. All right, well, let's restart Moto. Yep, that's still broken. Come to find out. Cannot watch replays or games in progress. All right, so we will not be seeing what anyone else is up to. We'll just have to, well, I guess, not know what they're playing. This is actually probably one of the more pure experiences because you can't scout, which is what I was going to do while I was waiting, but I cannot. So my guess would be my game dropped. Maybe not. All right, come on, Moto. Yep, we cannot watch games, so we had Moto catastrophically fail there. That's kind of cool, though, because, like, we can't, like, you know, take value-based mulligan decisions off of it, which is true for everyone. You know, but I'm going to definitely take a look if I can. If I'm given the time, I will take a look. So I can make those value-based mulligan decisions. Alrighty, so, yep. Let's put our game back up, and we'll probably just go on a pause, guys, because I can't actually watch anyone else's game, and I'll wait until my game starts. Before we do that, I think I'll just give a quick breakdown. So we have 12-player tournament. Kumagaro is hosting. So we should be 6-round Swiss, and then I think break to top 2 is what they said they're in their newer format. They said is what they're doing, break to top 2 or possibly break to top 4, depending on how many players. 12 maybe break to top 4. I don't know. We'll find out. I haven't played this tournament in a long time, but I kind of want to do something new. I'm kind of sick of Cube, and yeah, want to do something new. So anyways, we'll wait until we get going here, guys. All right, guys, we're back, and it looks like we're getting started in game 1 here. So, do this. Have fun, man. And I think I'm gonna have fun here. This hand's very dicey, but we're on the draw with no tax. Mox Diamond, a bunch of plows. I think the right answer is to toss this hand back. I really do. I'm debating it, though. I'm trying to think of the merits of it. I mean, if I get the Defiant Falcon down, I can plow. No, this is a mull. Alright, this hand is much better. We're going to keep this. Defiant Falcon, I think we can bottom that, honestly, because we'd rather draw tax right now. And we already have a tutor effect to find that dude if we need to. Alright, Glimmer Post. Okay. Well, that's why you do it, right? So then we land tax, say go. Next turn, we're going to wasteland their one of their 12 posts, probably. They're going to probably play a Cloud Post right now. They try to play around this, but it's not really good to play around it, I don't think. They're not going to play land. Okay, well, I have absolutely no need to play lands either, so go. They're going to play a land this turn. I think they have to. I think they could try to play around tax, but, like, I don't think that's going to behoove them. They need mana. Their deck, if they're playing Cloud Glimmer Post, they need mana, right? Unless you're trying to reanimate, like Post Reanimator. I could get Goozled here. What does this thing do? Sale Monger. It's a Monger. Alright, that card's pretty cool. we're going to blow this up and say go. Actually, I'm going to turn off auto yields. I'm going to attack. I'm still going to play my dude out, my other dude. Alright, we're going to boards. Alright, interesting. Okay, so they are a post deck of some variety, which I tend to like because I have 4 Wastelands, I've got 3 Armageddons, like I have a lot of game against LD, or I have a lot of game against like make multiple mana per turn style decks with like soul lands essentially. So I tend to like my matchup here. I think this is a keep. It doesn't have disruption of mana, but it has attacks on turn 1, which tends to be pretty good. And it's got some disruption. I'm going to keep this. I'm going to say go. It has some liabilities. Like, we really want to draw land tax early in this matchup. Alright. Bojuka Bog is just fine. Like, that's not a land that's ever going to produce more than 1 mana. And it actually does have some late game potential against my style of deck, but it's not the best. And here we get to go land tax. We drew into our land naturally, which actually would rather draw gas at this point because it's not likely they have enchantment removal for land tax. Okay, well, they're just not going to play against land tax. Alright, guys, well, I'm sorry for the non-game round 1. I was really hoping to play this deck. I guess it's just a really bad matchup for Love Tap's MTG. I'm sorry, brother. I don't like goozling people like that. Like, just, turn 1 concede to land tax. It's just pretty rough. Anyways, I would watch the other games and comment on them, or at least show you some of the cool stuff that other people have going on, but unfortunately, MTGO is kind of broke like a joke right now, and watching other games is impossible. So we can't scout, and we can't watch other games. So I'm going to go on a break, and I guess just wait out round 1, and then round 2 we'll be back to kind of cover some of the cool stuff my deck can do. You didn't really get to see what it did, but evidently they either knew what my deck was capable of doing, or they just did not want to play against land tax. It was just too much advantage. I don't know. I don't really know, guys. So anyways, I'm going to go on a pause. I'll be back momentarily for round 2 of this tournament. Alright, guys, we're back. We'll be playing against Dion Mag here. What do I think of this hand? Well, his hand's keepable. It's not great, but it's keepable. It would obviously love to have attacks, but I don't think you can throw this one back. And, you could hope for better. You could get better on 6 than this, but this is still a playable hand. Alright, Cloud Post. Well, I'm not in a rush here. I'll Wasteland you. On 5, it's especially powerful. I may just get a concede here. Okay, Sunken Ruins into map. Alright. Well, tax would be nice. Well, sometimes, guys, you just call them, right? And then we can tax into Geddon. Well, tax into 2-drop next turn and then Geddon. Probably just play the Whipcorder out. Okay. Diamond probably best draw. Diamond's still a great draw here. So they're going to get up to pretty big mana here, but I have Swords to Plowshares to kind of stop them. The Whipcorder is kind of just a sacrificial lamb. I don't really want to play the Defiant Falcon out yet. I'd rather do that after they get their post turn, because they're going to get 1 turn with post. Alright, so we'll tax here. Alright, Defiant Falcon, and I'm going to leave up Swords to Plowshares because I really just want to get next turn. I don't want to have to rely on drawing a diamond here. We'll discard 2 land cards and say go. Okay, Vesuva probably copying the Cloud Post, and they have a bunch of mana now, so what can they do? Okay, Lantern. Anything else, my friend? Nothing. Alright. Still want to draw on a diamond. Diamond would be the most powerful turn. Okay, well, we did not get there on diamond. So, Armageddon. And you have a counterspell. They could on Chromatic Lantern. The chances are pretty low, but... Okay, they got something going on. Possibly a counter. Alright, they're going to return an expedition map. Cool. This puts us back as well, but... I don't think we need a second tax. I'm just going to keep the lands in hand. We get one land and then keep the tax. Alright, this thing and more lands? Or no? No more lands. Alright, well, I'm going to play lands out because I need to increase my clock. Okay, Heap Doll. Actually, Heap Doll's irrelevant. They can have that. I'm just going to play this out so I have less cards in my hand to discard. If I do get to tax again. I'm not going to wait around on tax, though. I'm going to try to get this Mirror Entity down and just win. Okay, Cascading Cataracts. Okay. Cloud Post. Yep, get in there, you. I think I am going to plow this thing. Let's do the math real quick. So plow it, go to 11, down to 8, no creatures on board, Mirror Entity 9 power. On the following turn, yeah, we plow this. We're supposed to plow this, I think. Yeah. It's 1 life up, but I don't think it's relevant. Now, they can sack it if they don't want to gain the life and exile one of my cards, but it's not really relevant. I mean, I could play that to get value off of my other legendary land, but here I think we just put them to the test and say, hey, have it. Have removal for my stuff. Hit them for 3, down to 8, and then got 9 on the board next turn. Seems good. And actually, we could plow again next turn if it's a 1-1 they play. They have a land that produces multiple mana if they have multiple of them in play. Okay, well, here's what we do. In case they have removal, we do this. We tap this, play this. I'm going to keep this one. Yep, I will use its ability. Get 1. Alright, 4. And then hit for lethal, I believe. Alright, so go to sideboarding. Value mulligan decisions. Wastelands obviously go up in value. I'm taking this time to think tank this. Mox Diamond I think is decent, especially with Geddon. So Geddon and Wasteland are going to be our most relevant cards in this matchup. If things get and tax, and if things get out of control, I mean we have Swords to Plowshares to kind of help get back into it. But I think the game is going to circulate around Geddons, land tax, and Wasteland in this matchup. So just resub it. I think they're playing their Scarecrows deck. Scarecrows, there are some actually really powerful Scarecrows. I forget all their names. There's like one that like Grim Poppet like kills a bunch, like kind of like a bad Triskelion for a lot of mana. It's not bad. It's a good card if you can cast it, and Post helps cast that. And there's like another one that's like Reaper King is pretty good. All right, this hand again, kind of medium, guys. But I don't feel like we can toss this back again. So I'm going to keep this and just, hope to get there on it. It's not the best, but I think, again, like, value mulliganing this is bad. Alright, and go. And they could definitely overwhelm us here. I shouldn't F6 because they could have a threat we need to play. Alright, that's not a scary land. Alright, Heap Doll is kind of whatevs. That doesn't scare me. That's their Reanimator safety net. I'm going to play this dude out. Cast him out. And go. And we're kind of just hoping to hit lands. We play quite a few lands here, so it's not a horrible chance that we hit some. Alright, they hit a land as well, but they're kind of short on mana. Are they going to play out their artifact? No, this dude, Scuttlemutt. Okay, I will plow that thing. Play on another tapper and attack. One of their lands does not blow up here. Alright, so this Vesuva is going to copy the Cloud Post. Okay, Scarecrow. Okay. Alright, Geddon. They keep one land. I get one land back from my flagstones as well. Okay. They're going to sacrifice that and try to draw a card. Makes sense. Also means they cannot block now. And I will use this to get a plains land. Yep. Get in there, you two. Now I want to hit tax pretty badly, but if we don't, we don't. Alright. And expedition map, cool. I could play Scout out, but Scout is worse because it can be blocked by the Scarecrow. Now the name of the game is just put them under a clock. What do they get here? Like, could be Glimmer, probably just Cloud Post again because they really need to have mana for this deck to run. Alright, Wasteland, probably best draw. They attack, no. Alright, not a Wasteland. Alright, they have to do something next turn. Take 6, cool. My creatures are kind of bad, so like the Geddon Lock is not as good as it would be in something like White Weenie, where you have like really good creatures. My creatures are just they tutor for stuff. They're good in that regard. They accrue a lot of value, but they're just not good attackers. All right, so we got them here 2-0. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna go on a quick pause again because we cannot watch other games. Unfortunately, Watsy, please fix Moto. Let me watch replays and current games. But yeah, we played against 2 post decks, and this deck is kind of designed to beat up on the post decks. Like it just naturally does because I mean it's got the 3 Geddons, it's got the Wastelands, it's got land tax, which if they're trying to ramp or something like that, tends to be good against them. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed it. Be right back momentarily for more gameplay of Rebel Geddon. Back at you. Hey guys, Lemon02. We're back for round 3, playing against Nagaruna, and have fun, man. And I don't know what Nagaruna is on. I mean, I guess I could be able to tell at this point. Let's take a look real fast. Tribal Apocalypse. Everyone can see this, so I don't feel bad about this. Hydra. Okay, I feel pretty good against Hydra. I think this is a very keepable hand against Hydras. We got Wasteland to stop any like dual, probably red-green base deck. Yeah, I mean, Hydras are all red and green, right, in Magic? Yeah, I'm going to keep this. It's not the best of hands, but it's also not terrible. We can get some tax value. Alright. Wild Growth, cool. And they could have a Hydra next turn. Should be good for them. My question is, can they play around the land tax with enough Wild Growths? If they have multiple Wild Growths, they possibly could. And that'd be good for them. So I cannot Wasteland the Forest. Tap the diamond there. I'm not playing a dual-colored deck, so it doesn't make sense to leave up multiple possible spells. I mean, they probably know that by now. I mean, if they look at the Rebels list, like I looked at what they were playing, which is Hydras, right? Alright, 2 mana. Oh, what do we got? They could be trying to play around. Alright, Rofellos. Okay. Well, I'm going to wait till their end step, because I am going to plow this dude. Alright, get plowed, friend. Well, I can still force them to play in attacks here. And gain a little bit of incremental life and, possibly, get them with something. Alright, another forest, so this means we're in Hydra territory. And I assume they had to. This is probably the 3-mana Hydra. Could be an X spell as well. Alright, Primordial Hydra. Alright, that card's problematic. So I have to do something about that. Alright, well that is not something that is going to happen about that. Might as well attack here. It's going to become a 2-2. And be quite problematic, actually. A Tapper would also be good here, or Swords of Plowshare's Path to Exile. We do have outs to this card. It's just right now we do not. They don't have to play more lands, and it's possible we didn't want to play land there either. I mean, if I had Geddon, I probably would have cast it here. Alright, so Rogue's Passage. So they can make their stuff unblockable, but I can Wasteland the Rogue's Passage. Get in there for 2. Yep. And 4 next turn. They have a 4-mana play to make. It appears they do, but this Hydra doesn't worry me as much. Yes, it can kill some of my dudes, but I think it's more stoppable. Okie doke. I'm not sure if I attack here or not. I think I block. Alright, get pathed. The Riftwing's going away, or the Rift Watcher's going away regardless, so this likely takes them off using the Polukranos for anything too busted. Okay. Okay, more land, so they're going to allow me to tax again. Which is not bad for me, but if they have another like good play, like another big just green dude, that could be bad for us. Is this Green Sun Zenith? No, it's just this Hydra. Okay. The Mist Cutter. Okay, we will block here. And we'll tax again. Oh yes, tax every turn we can. Now we have no more basics, which is nice. And hopefully we can draw some action. Alright, Mox Diamond, not my idea of action. Might as well play the land at this point. Yeah, I mean, it makes Geddon a little bit worse, but we're kind of on our... We haven't drawn that well this game so far. I mean, we've drawn one good card, but we really need to draw a little bit more gas, like a Rebel Tutor would be good, or just more removal, or Geddon would have been pretty good here. But unfortunately, we're at all lands in hand. We have none left in deck, which is pretty solid. It means our virtual advantage is pretty high. But if they have one more big thing to play, I think we're going to be in some trouble, because we don't have Wrath of God in the deck, and getting back from behind like this on board is going to be pretty tough, because our creatures are just kind of tiny. Now, if we do land, like, I don't know, like a Linvala, she could be good. So we take 8 here, which is not good. And they also have creature kill for our first threat with Polukranos. So it probably makes sense not to dump the mana into them. They probably should play another threat out here, and I'll probably be dead on the next turn if they have another, like, 5 power attacker. Well, I know I will be. I think here, yeah, even another Mistcutter would be good. All right, Raphaelos doesn't really do all that much. All right, I'm not going to do this. I don't need to shuffle. So what do I need to hit here? This is still lethal, right? No, it's 1 short. Alright, we'll hit Flagstones. We can probably concede pretty safely here. I think we're just dead because we didn't hit anything that we really needed there. We did hit the Plow, or the Path Exile, rather. But we needed to really have a Rebel Tutor there to kind of get it going. And if we'd had that, I think we actually could have played a pretty strong game there, a pretty solid game. And or Geddon. Like, if we could have Geddon with just the 5/5 on the board, I think the game just irrevocably goes to us in that. But... you know, we didn't... Well, we knew we were playing against Hydras, but it's really a monocolored Hydra list, so Wasteland's not going to be as good. What do you think of this keep? I think this is much more defensible. I think I'm going to keep this. It has 2 Moxen in it. And I don't even really know if I use either of them. I mean, I really do want to... I think I wait on using them. I think I maybe just play the Flagstones down on turn 1 and say go and leave a Path. And then see what I can draw next turn, because they did show us Polukranos, which, you know, is a legend, and Karakas tends to be very good against that. I mean, it's a strong mana-efficient play, so I think I'm just going to go with this and say go. And they could have Wild Growth again, which is not bad. Okay, an Arbor Elf. Okay, cool. We're going to play this out. Any land allows us to tutor next turn. I'm not going to use the Path to Exile here. Yeah. So what do we got for 3? Could be playing Plow Under in that deck too. Alright, Wild Growth. Alright. Lose your dude. I'm not about that life. You can untap it right now, but... Alrighty. Okay. And you have a Wild Growth. So they don't have a 3-drop, is what they're telling me. They have a lot of 4s in that deck, my guess would be. Alright, 2 mana, Rofelos. Nope, Arbor Elf. And anything else? Possibly, we'll see. Alright, I think here what we end up doing is just go for an Aven Riftwatcher, attack for 1, and say go. Now, they have a lot of mana, so this could be bad for us. We have Swords of Plowshares. You know, we have Ounce here. I mean, now if it's like a big, like, Primordial Hydra, I mean, it's a must-kill, but... So maybe it was better to actually keep the Path to Exile for later. Because they have a lot of X spells. It looks like Mistcutter is a big one. Like I said, Pelucranos doesn't scare me, so if they have 4 of those in deck, like, the Karakas should do some decent work here. But not looking too great. I feel like we're probably a little bit of a dog in this matchup. Now looking at it. Like, monocolored decks that are pretty fair. Like, this is a fair deck that my opponent's playing. It's a Mistcutter for a bunch. But they're down on cards if they do this. This is a Mistcutter, I think. Or Primordial. Alright, Mistcutter. Cool. You get it for 4. Cool with me. We're just going to see what they have. And they could have a big Hydra. We've got blockers for days. If they have just land in hand, that's really good for us. What have we got? Alright, looks like another big thing. What does this do? Okay. Do they attack into the tutor effect? I think it's a risk. They don't. Okay, I kind of like how they played that. So we're going to attack here for 3. We have to blow up the big Hydra there. So gain 7, my friend. They can try to pump it for what? They can pump it for quite a bit here. Okay. Okay, so they get 3 XX Hydras, right? And they gain a boatload of life. And hopefully they don't draw a bomb. Have a bomb draw step here. Because that would be worse for us. Am I dead here? No, I am not. I think here we get the mirror, or the Rift Watcher. Say cool. Got me. Do they have? No, they have a land. Okay. Alright, what can we get for 3? Alright, what else we got? Land go, or is it a big dude? If it's land go, I feel alright, but if it's big dude, I'm in trouble. Alright, it's big dude. Alright, it's this thing again. That was a good draw. So do we have an attack this turn? No, we don't. This does not have trample, though, right? Alright, is there any way we can win this? Probably not. Yeah, I don't think we have ounce to this, unfortunately. Yeah, Geddon was the card we kind of needed. Alright, so they're going to ultimate this thing, yep. And get a bazillion 3/3s. Seems pretty good. Okay, we're very dead now, I believe. Yeah, is there any out to this? No, we're just dead. I'll let them kill us, though. We'll show how their deck works. Alright, Utopia Sprawl. That's kind of what we needed to have them draw as their nonsense cards. Not gas there. Which, the green ramp decks do tend to have a lot of nonsense in them. Like, they kind of, like, expend their opening hand, and then they're hoping to hit the top deck. And here, it's just going to work. Unfortunately. Whereas I think that's one of their frailties. And if they have good draws, they're going to win. If they do not, you know, if they have, like, if they start top decking into Utopia Sprawls, Wild Growths, you know, Rafellos, and, like, Arbor Elves in the mid to late game, they tend to lose if their opening hand isn't enough to do it. And that's kind of where we put them. It's like, all right, put them to the top deck in their mid to late game, which is not really where they want to be. They can top deck well, but they have a lot of dead cards. Especially with, you know, a open legendary land, or Caracas to bounce their probably 2 to 3 of Pelucranos. I guess maybe 4 of. It could be a 4 of. And if it's a 4 of, I think that would make the matchup a lot better if they had any of those. But unfortunately, you know, as you can see, like, you know, we didn't really get time or the mana to get into our good top decks here later on down the road. We had some lands coming up, but unfortunately didn't have our power play of Geddon, tax Geddon, which is kind of where this deck wants to be, and kind of lost pretty handily there. Quick break, guys. Unfortunate 0-2 finish in round 3, but we have round 4 coming up soon, and there still is finals, so we're still in contention for that. We'll be right back with you guys. Hey guys, Lumens here at 2 back here. Unfortunately, no top 4, only top 2, so we don't get to play. We're not in contention anymore. What do we think of this hand? I think this hand's actually a mulligan. If it had like 2 more lands, it would actually be a lot better, so I'm going to mull this down. And this hand is got to be acceptable, so this is a fair hand. Oh. Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to record this one. I'm rolling. Yeah, I want to get one more game in for you guys because we kind of had like a couple non-game. Well, actually, we had a lot of non-games. Like, unfortunately, I think that's one of the issues with like Tribal that I've kind of found, and you know, I think it's a thing that folks have brought up before is not having sideboards kind of stinks. That's why you'll see I have like bad cards like Relic in my deck to beat like just random reanimator decks. So this, I may actually plow my own Ramosin Sergeant. We'll see here. I actually do want to draw the land off the top, but we're going to play this gentleman out and say go. We'll see what they're up to. I have no clue what Generalissimo is up to. Well, I guess I can find out real fast. I can at least see what his deck name is. So Generalissimo is playing Hounds. Okay. I'll take. Yep. I'm going to see what's up. I'm going to wait here. I'm not blocking, right? No. I'll attack then. At least have a Caracas up. Now, if they play another creature, we can just plow. Well, kill both of them. See if we get land here. Alright, even a Rift Watcher. That seems good against their deck. Seems like Bad News Bears. Just plow this thing. I could take it to see if I can get more value off it, but he's not going to attack into an Aven Rift Sweeper, I don't think. Alright, what do we got here? Alright, Human, Shaman, Goblin Scout. Alright, there's... I'm not sure what tribe he's playing right now. Could be a multitude of things. Okay. Alright, Hounds. This is a really weird deck. Alright. I could have also got a free dude here, but I don't know. They're down to 2 cards, and they're not really per se ahead on the board. And they are slightly ahead on the board, but I mean, I do have this Aven Rift Sweeper, which is probably going to be not something they really want to kill. I mean, they can kill it, but it just doesn't really do a bunch for them. Alright, they're 3 color, so I assume they're still playing their Hounds deck. Okay, Bolt. Yep. I take 6 here, which is rough, but hey, what can you do? Okay. You have more dudes. Okay, we have the Wild Dogs. They get to keep the Wild Dogs here. Alright, I am going to take a look with Ramosin Sergeant. And find what? Probably just an Amaru Scout. Get rid of this dude. They can get a land for it. I'm down to 12, but they're down to 1 card, and I've got a Tutor Engine online. Okay, Wild Mongrel. Cool. Probably again just an Amaru Scout. And Bandit, I'll talk to you in a second, buddy. I'm gonna record this one out. All right, so this. I'm gonna play out Lynn Civvy here. All right. Basically, can you kill me this turn? Okay. will block here. Can they kill me? Probably not from 8 with 1 card. Okay, what do we discard? A land card? Alright, yep, you got it. Take 3. Alright, Defiant Falcon, pretty great draw. I'm going to play that out. Alright, what did we draw for the turn? We probably should at some point take them off green mana. Taiga, has been a liability with Wild Dogs and Wild Mongrel. Wild Dog's actually a pretty sweet card. I mean, cycling on this thing is pretty great. I mean, it's Gazban Ogre, but when you get it cycling, it becomes a lot better than Gazban Ogre ever was. Alright. Okay. Well, the Dogs dies, and Mogus's Marauder stays behind, or Warhound, rather, stays back. Yep. Okay. I'm going to go for 3 again and just do this right now. Get another Rift Sweeper. Yep. I'm going to blow up their green mana and say go. Basically, it comes down to when do they hit a string of lands. If they hit a string of lands, I think I just win, because that's kind of when my deck takes over. Because land is not hurting me right now on my side. I just get to tutor. I mean, given my cards singularly are probably worse than their cards are. All right, to this dude. Okay. But no Surge, so... I'm going to kill this. I'm going to block this. It's free now. Alright, we'll cast this Gentleman out and say go. I would love to attack here, but I don't think I can afford to right now. Question could see you burn me out, right? Alright, it was a land. Okay. Well, we drew into the mirror entity, which means we have to probably play it out here. Alright, get in there, you. Alright, if they hit land here, I think they just lose the game, right? We'll tap this gentleman down and say, play it. We'll shoot a 2 here. I don't think I need to do more. And we know we got lethal next turn, especially if we tap down this reckless bushwhacker. 7's a bit of light for them to have to beat through, so they could just put down blockers. It could have been more correct, actually, at this point in the game to just Armageddon them. Okay, we're going to sideboarding. So that, despite some early aggression, ended up going decently well. I think this deck does have game against aggro decks. It's a control deck against aggro decks, obviously, as you saw it played out that way. Alright, this hand... Well, it's not the best. But I think it's still a keep. I think you keep this hand. Despite not having 1-mana interaction. I mean, it's got a 2-drop. It's got a couple 2-drops. It's got one of my best 3-drops in this matchup, which is Aven Rift Watcher. Can generally be a multiple for 1 card advantage card. Alright, so down to 6. Play a guide. Alright, Goblin Guide. Or just bolt my face or something. Alright, Goblin Guide. Okay, well, that card's annoying. Alright, Path to Exile is probably one of the better cards it could have shown there. So they get into... They did mulligan, which Path does get them back up on mana. But this also forces them to possibly give me an additional card off of Goblin Guide, which I'm not upset about. Okay. Okay. And then Wasteland. Wait, what did it show? Okay, Whipquarter. Cool. Okay, they do have more land. They have another cast. Like a Wild Dogs or something. Okay. The Wild Doogs. Yep, Wild Dogs. Cool. Well, they actually know about this card, so I don't have an issue casting it. And go, my friend. Now, if we have the opportunity to block here, we'll definitely block the dogs and try to keep on getting value off of Goblin Guide. Alright, Amaru Scout. Alright, dog's getting blocked. I'm not trying to steal that card. Okay, 4 mana. It's a lot. What does this thing do? Okay, and pay life and give it a bunch of bonuses. Okay, Bushwhacker. That's a bunch of bonuses. Forced to put mana into this. I'm actually going to Geddon him here. If I hit land, I wouldn't have done that, but I think at this point I'm not going to be able to two. I mean, if I two-spell next turn, it's kind of a downside, but I don't know. I think I have to block the Ashmouth Hound here. Okay. Very good pickup there. Play this out and say go. Land? Nice. Okay. Okay. Another threat? No, they did not. And you're go, my friend. And we'll see what happens here. They could have some strong top decks. It looks like they're a pretty streamlined aggro deck, though, so, I mean, removal's probably their best top deck, or like a multi-removal spell. Okay, Wild Mongrel. That's not a bad one. They don't. Okay. Alright, Mirror Entity, go. Okay. Okay. They're going to allow me to keep the Amaru Scout. I did that as kind of a next level. I don't really care about the Mirror Entity right now, because I can get it back. And I can get it back with Lyn Civvy, which is kind of the breaks here. Alright, go ahead, my friend. Because the Rebel is actually more dangerous here. Okay. Alrighty. I don't really want to use that card. I think I'm just going to leave that in hand and just say go. If they top deck lands, I win, probably. They have to top deck a way to, like... I mean, I don't know if they can get out of this. Alright, Wild Mongrel, that's cool. Get Lyn Civvy here. And this is where my deck's just going to take over. Like, I don't even need to use Geddon here. And go, my friends. Yeah, Rift Watcher is just going to be a problem for them, I think. Alright, yep, this thing, cool. Whipquarter's fine. Get another Rift Watcher here and go up to 11. This is where Lin Civi gets gross on this much mana because I can just put my my Defiant Rift Watcher or even Rift Watchers back and just gain more life. It's kind of a cool, interesting game. This is actually one of the games I would have liked to play this match during the tournament because it's actually kind of an interesting match. It's got some interesting, like, it's got an interesting dynamic to it because I'm playing an aggro control deck against an aggro deck, and I think that's the breaks there. Interested to see what we would have drawn. Yeah, just more lands. And at this point, land is just fine. I guess if we don't know what we would have drawn because we would have shuffled like multiple times here. Would have put a card back in, probably the Rift Watcher or the Entity to go for the win. Probably not the Entity yet. 21's a lot of life, and they have a decent number of blockers on the board. So pretty interesting game there. I hope you guys enjoyed this fourth game we got to play here. It was pretty cool. And thanks for the game, Generalissimo. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed. I'm going to go ahead and cut the video there and probably either go do some cubing or some other life things. Hope you guys enjoyed watching Tribal. I'm playing with an underdog deck, Rebels. And, it has a lot of game. I actually think that you could take the engine of this deck, which is Land Tax, Geddon, Diamond, and probably transport it into, if you were trying to play like Tribal Legacy Wars, probably transport it into like a good Dead Guy Ale deck, like a black-white deck. That was either humans or wizards. I like Bob a lot, and I think he'd be good in this deck. And I also like the new 4-mana human, the Palace Jailer. That card is just disgusting. So like, there's a lot of ways to like build like cool aggro control. So it's just like grind card advantage as well. And kind of play a really cool control game. Play a long game against control decks, and also play like good, decent short game against like aggro decks like this. As you saw, we ran into some liabilities against like the ramp decks because like our mana denial strategy just doesn't really work out. When Wasteland's kind of a dead card, it's kind of rough, and complementing that with just, like, if green has their best draw, like, if they have, like, the Rofellos and we don't have the removal for it, if they have, like, the ramp and we don't have the answer for, like, the one big thing that gets down, it can sometimes be tough with this deck, especially if they have multiple of the big things and the draw works out. But one of the benefits, I think, to a deck like this is you're not really fighting your top deck every time, like you are a lot in aggro. Like, like the decks where Smuggler's Copter would be good, because I consider green ramp generally an aggro deck. In a minimum, it plays out very similarly to aggro in the late game because you're just praying your top deck is what you need. That's kind of where I think you need to put that game. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for us because our opponent did hit like the big thing they really needed to make a bunch of dudes, like an Army and a Can card, to kind of out horizontally grow us on the Rebels draw. But very, very cool games, and I hope you guys enjoyed them all. And we'll maybe play some more Tribal at some point in time. I just saw it was open today, and I was like, hey, it's an underdog event, I'll play it. Why not? I have a deck built. And just a new format to kind of check out. All right, guys, enjoy and take care now.